On today's episode, we're going to talk about why teenagers plank, love sugar, and drive badly. Risk-taking comes in many forms, from this to this, and some of this. Despite tending to be more fit and healthy than adults, teenagers are getting themselves into life-threatening danger. The rate of driving accidents peaks in adolescence. 18-year-olds crash a lot due to inexperience, right? They've only just learned to drive. Of course, they're going to have accidents. But why is it that you guys drown more? You didn't just learn how to swim. The sad truth is that adolescents are far more likely to drown compared to adults. And this suggests that adolescents are making bad decisions about where to swim. If you're a parent, you're probably thinking that teenagers, they think they're invincible. That's why they're flinging themselves off buildings and put it onto U-tubs, or swiping right any old mysterious attacker on Snapbook. But the fact is that adolescents perceive risk similar to how you do as an adult. So if it's not a Superman complex, what is it that causes teenagers to take greater risks? Researchers at Temple University have been working hard on this very question. In fact, in one of their early experiments, they had adolescents and adults play a stoplight game. So they'd be driving to a stoplight and it's amber, and they would have to decide whether to come to a slow and safe stop or risk the crossing, just like in Euro Truck Simulator. And when playing this game, both groups, adult and adolescent, would be less likely to take risk. However, when the teenagers would play with their friends, watching over them, they were far more likely to risk it, and their driving did get a lot worse. Whereas the adults were less likely, and were less likely to be bothered by somebody looking over them, judging. You don't just find this effect in the lab. Studies have shown that teenagers are far more likely to get into car crashes when their friends are with them, and teenagers are more likely to use alcohol and do drugs when their friends do. This shows us that teenagers just love taking risks with their friends. Weirdly, this also happens in rats. One study found that if you take adolescent and adult alcohol-dependent rats, place them in separate cages and provide a source of alcohol, adolescent rats are far more likely to drink with their mates than adults. And the adults just have a drink whenever they want, and anyone else who judges them can go to hell. The thing that makes this result more staggering is that adolescence in rats only lasts 10 to 20 days. But why does this happen? Why is it that teenagers are far more likely than adults to put themselves in danger when their friends are around? The answer to this question can be found in something as simple as a spoonful of sugar. Do you want to know something cool? If you're a teenager, you like cake significantly more than an adult. And the sad factor is that if you're an adult, you loved cake way more as a teenager than you do now. I know, it's tragic, but it's time to move on. Not only do teenagers say they love sugar more, but the pleasure centers of their brain are far more active when they eat sugar as a teenager. This part of the brain is more active when they eat chocolate, it's more active when they see they've got likes on Facebook, and it's more active when, yes, you guessed it, when they're taking risks with their friends. To make matters worse, the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for self-control, isn't fully developed until later adolescence, which means that the part of your brain that wants you to seek thrills and adventure out and take risks is shouting, whereas the part of your brain that is careful and cautious and safe is just whispering. This evidence might come as a shock to parents. How do you deal with a teenager who is motivated to take risks at a biological level? But things aren't as bad as you might think. Yeah, teenagers are more likely to take risks when their friends are around than adults. There's a good reason for this. Adolescence is an important time of our lives where we strive to become more independent, to move away from home and make some friends. If you want to meet a new friend, you just have to take the risk. If you want to meet a new romantic partner, you just have to take the risk. We evolved to seek new experiences, get away from home, and explore different relationships. Strong relationships lead to a longer life, better mental health, and all-round good fun times. We all make stupid decisions in our adolescence, but we also make lifelong friends. If you're watching this as a teenager, then please don't jump off that roof for the YouTube video, don't drive recklessly, and don't bet all your pocket money on Leicester winning the next season. But do take risks. If you want to be friends with someone you don't know, then take a risk. It might not work out, but it might be the best decision you ever made.
All content in this video is a summary of an enormous, ever-changing scientific landscape. Some of these theories will change, some will stay the same. Consider this video a starting point to a wider debate. Do not take anything said in this video as gospel, but instead stick your face into literature and have a jolly good waggle.